Hey! And the surprise guest is here.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh, Miguel, how is it going?
Oh, busy days. How are you?
Oh, we are doing so good. It has been a cliffhanger of days. Just absolutely fantastic.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
Miguel the King is here.
What king? No,
I can't believe
no
it.
king. Just Miguel.
Ah.
All right. So today we have a lot of surprises that we're gonna be sharing, right?
Yeah, we're gonna be sharing surprises. Like number one, like I thought I was gonna be. We were gonna be talking with Rosie about on object today, but what is going on?
Yeah. Well, Rosie is moving into a very excited future. She's gonna be owning other areas that you'll see soon. And I took over the Canvas team. We are planning to change the name as well because it's more than just the Canvas, it's the whole report experience. And that means that I'm gonna own an object, the format pane, copy and save reports, and multiple more staff regarding report creation. And not all, as you know, I used to own only the core visuals, which was data visualizations, the shapes, everything you can create inside of the Canvas page. That was the core. That is the core visuals space. But now I'm owning the entire frame of Power BI desktop and some of the Power BI services experiences for creating and consuming reports.
Wow.
That is so
Yeah.
awesome. Is this the first time this is being announced live?
Yeah, this is the first time. It's official. So
Wow.
after this webinar, I'm gonna post something in LinkedIn and I will make it super official. But this is
Oh,
the first.
that is absolutely fantastic. Congratulations, Miguel. Like I
Well,
literally, I could not write a better story arc here. This is exactly the way it should be.
yeah. Well, the reason behind it is because between Rosie and I, we were going back and forth when the core visuals team were requiring some components and some things from the canvas. We were just like it was taking a little bit more time for us to get in sync. So having one single PM owning both areas, it really makes sense. So it was helping us to unblock or bottleneck us, and it was helping us to move faster. So we hope that now that I'm taking over this new team, I will enhance that speed and I will make sure that both teams are aligned in the mindsets. The Canvas team usually are more inclined into new users
Mm.
or users with not much experience because they are being exposed on the Power BI components for first time sometimes, and they need to feel like this is an intuitive and easy experience. While the core visuals team are more focused on the experienced users, those ones that they want the wilds features.
Mm.
So having two different mindsets with two different PMs was a challenge. Now we need to unify them and keep them all in sync so that we can succeed together.
Exciting. I'm so pumped. I mean, I think
Yeah.
a lot of us have been really excited to see what you've already done, Miguel, on the core
Uh,
visuals. So, I mean, this is
yeah.
huge. So,
Uh,
congratulations.
No, thank you.
yeah, just this is super exciting. It's yeah. I mean, now you own everything, and now you can. Now we could talk about like the interactions. How do we
Yeah.
right? How do we get responsive? How do we do more than just have the visuals? So I'm very excited about where you what, and I'm sure this is day one, right? Like day first announcement.
Yeah. This is the official announcements. You have basically the the opportunity to showcase that with our community for first time. And I think in the first 6 months, me taking over this space, I'm just going to slow down. You will see many changes happening for the Canvas area. But the reason of it is because, as you know, for the core visuals, I took as well some time to map everything and have a really clear scope of what people were requesting, the challenges. I want to be more in tune with
Mm.
the community the same way as I'm doing for the core visual. So then when we are ready to develop the experiences that we already have, like an object, the format pane, the coming format ribbon that is as well ready to go out, I want to make sure that users are aware of what's coming and we are fitting their needs. Right now, as a new owner of this area, for me to completely continue developing without much understanding will be not a good
No,
strategy.
no.
So I'm just going to take some time to get into the space.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, when Miguel started working with the visuals, he did a great job of like really mapping out all the features, functionality, like diagramming how it works today, but then how it should evolve into the future. And I think
Yeah,
you,
I can showcase that. If you allow me to share my screen, I can show what you're explaining.
yeah, that would be fantastic. We'd love to see that. Go
So
ahead, share your
yeah, I
screen.
think it's important. I think it's important for the community or your audience to know where should I share my screen.
Right there's a little button that says
Okay, I see where. Okay, let me choose or Figma. Um,
so while that's coming up, I'm just
mhm,
gonna keep talking while you keep. Oh, there, here you go. You got it.
mhm. Okay, so this is what you were talking.
Yeah.
So this, go ahead,
Well, I was
Chris.
gonna say you sat down and you line up. Here's a current state, and how do I evolve every single feature and functionality to get it to the place where I need it to be? And this isn't a little bit of work, right? Like this, we're looking at months and months and months of like heads down, big effort to draw these things out. And so, please, Miguel, and maybe someone in the chat, if you disagree, but I'm going to say, please, Miguel, take this same time with the
Yeah,
palette, with the on object, with these new capabilities to draw this out and make sure that we're going to be at the right place at the end of it and not have to like get part of the way down the road and then have to rejigger again, right?
completely. No, 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 I totally agree. So just for our audience to know, what I just showed you is like Chris said, months and months of work. But it's not just random work.
Mhm.
We collected feedback from the Power BI ideas, social media, even customers that reach out to certain teams that are we like the customer advisory team where I came from. We meet with customers, we have meetings one to one with them, and then they share with us their challenges, and we capture that feedback as well. So that's customer feedback. So I took all that information over many, many years and I framed them in a way that engineering wise makes sense. Something that we can pack into a feature and we can launch month by month.
Mm.
So one example is the new car visual. And here you can see we have a map where we started, allowing the new car visual to display multiple cards. Then we allowed the reference label. And then we're going to allow you to have actions. So then each card can have multiple actions. You can use drill through from one card. Another card can be a page navigation. Another card can have bookmark, etc. So you can decide what actions you want for those cards. And just to let you know, multiple customers, what they do, they set up cards and they put transparent
I was
buttons
just
on top of
thinking that.
them.
Yeah, that's exactly what I
Yeah,
do. Yeah.
yeah, multiple. You have no idea how many people come to us, and that feedback has been captured.
Wow.
And again, it has been framed to be a shippable feature. And then after that, we will allow the card to have charts, and then we will split all those capabilities with small multiples.
Wow.
So you can then break those cards with series. This is a clear roadmap where we know where we are starting and where we are ending, and why and how that will happen. And inside of inside of these ideas, we have multiple items. Like we want to allow the scrolling and pagination that before we do, and now in November, finally, you can use scrolling and paginations for the new car visual, etc. So SVG support, multiple people were asking for it, so that's going to be as well done in that part. And once we have that roadmap for the Canvas team, you're going to see the same thing. You're going to see a really clear path of where are we with an object, where are we with the
Mm.
format pane, where are we with the many other panes that the Canvas team own as well, like edit interactions, etc. And then we will see the path moving forward based on the amount of features, requests that you're asking us to develop. And we will involve you entirely. For example, for the core visuals team, my team is planning to design a dashboard. So this is the mock-up of the dashboard that you'll see. This is going to be fully public for everyone to
Wow.
go and look at it. Instead, you go into my Figma that you saw all those amounts of cards and ideas, you will see them in one single place like this.
Mm.
And users are going to be able to say, okay, I want to know what the team is planning to do for Cartesians or for the new card visual. And once they click on that option, they'll see all those blocks that I showed you before. They click in each one and they will see an image of that idea, description of what that is, and the features that the team is already working on. So you will know, for example, that maybe this one is still under development and these ones are already shipped. And as well, you will know if there is dependencies. Like maybe you are so inclined to vote on this idea to keep it prioritized, but you need to know that in order for us to do this work, we need to unblock other areas. And so we will encourage you or encourage the community to go and explore those ideas and vote for those ones too if they want these ones to be highly prioritized.
Oh,
Things, go ahead, Chris.
Wow.
that's awesome, right? And I really do want to like commend you for taking the time to not just put this together, but to to be working to make that available so that people could see like if I want this golden land over here, I have to prioritize and make sure you have support to do all these features that lead up to it, and it's clear why. So thank you for doing that and making that available for us. So
Yeah. Same thing is gonna happen with the Canvas team. I will set up the whole map. I will sit down with engineers and designers, and then we will go over the whole feedback, and we will set up the whole map, and we will share that with the community, so that we will expect the community to work with us as part of the product process development. And I'm excited. It's a lot of work, I have to say, but
You're
uh,
basically
I
building
think
out a new fabric ideas format, right? Like it feels like you're adding a GUI layer on top of fabric ideas so we can
yes.
actually see that we make an impact, right? Like and where to make an impact. Like this is huge.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
gonna drive so much interaction with that ideas page.
Yeah, the thing that I saw is when I went into the fabricideas.com, I saw a lot of value there. But the
Yeah.
problem is it's just impossible to manage because every week people are posting more ideas, and sometimes the ideas are already published 100 times more in the past,
Yep.
and it's not clear. So this new thing that I showed you, this approach, what we're gonna do in Power BI Ideas, I can create an idea myself, and then I can embed all those ideas that are similar into that big epic idea. So that's how we're gonna call them, epic ideas. So if
Nice.
somebody
oh,
comes with that idea again, I will just take it and put it inside of the epic idea. And I will let everybody know, hey, no matter if you do it in this idea, other idea, or my epic idea, all of them go into the same stream and they're going to be measured in one single unity. In that way, I will organize our feedback from customers, and I will make sure that they know what people are voting on and why would they like once they have this dashboard I showed you, they will have a clear idea what's going on in there. Because if you go right now in the website, it's just messy. You have to scroll and see what people are saying, but there is no organized way to see it as a whole.
so imagine this: the guy who's the one of the best PMs I've ever seen, who's the PM over visualizations, has figured out a way to visualize and make ideas more accessible and usable for people.
Take my money.
Yeah. So,
So
so
true.
that's the vision for the Canvas team as well.
Yeah.
We'll do the same.
Oh, gosh dang, am I excited about this? This
This
is
is huge.
fantastic news. Now, okay, so you've got a runway there, and we're not gonna pester you. Like, it's gonna take 6 months of design, and then you're gonna gather feedback, and so it's good, and then it's gonna take 6 months of engineering. Completely get that, right? So it's a year from now, and totally fine, right? Like that makes
Not
perfect
fine,
sense.
Chris. I want it tomorrow.
I
Yeah,
Sorry,
but
Miguel.
yesterday
I'm
too.
very sorry.
No, processing will go the same way. The important thing here is knowing that we have a limited amount of resources,
Mhm.
Right.
and we need to make sure that there are other components around each feature that can be affected dramatically by any change. We will make sure that whatever we do first is going to bring the impact, and then
Mhm.
it will meet the major requirements that our audience are asking for. Instead, doing something that maybe is not that impactful and is making the experience even more difficult. So that's the difference. At least we want this work that I'm showing you for the core visuals doesn't mean that we're going to work faster. It
Yeah.
Mhm.
means that you know that somebody's listening, somebody's acting on your request, and what is going to be delivered is exactly what you intended to get.
Right.
Yeah. So Jack has got a great question. I was just starting to think this myself, and Jack beat me to the punch here. Any possibility you could make this like epic likes or
Yes.
ideas thing available for people to be able to use as maybe a power app or something inside our COEs so that we could leverage that to do the same thing? Because like I'm kind of thinking I want to go to the Miguel Meyer School of Product Management and subscribe to the newsletter and get all the things. Is that possible?
Yeah, that's the plan as well to share all this and make them all available. But we
What?
need to do one step at a time.
Okay.
Yeah, part of my role is not just to innovate and be productive, but as well to scale. So
Mhm.
other people have to take the same thing and be successful. It's not just keeping it for ourselves. How like I need to create processes that other people can use in order to replicate the formula.
It
So
would
don't
be so
worry.
cool to see that like integrated with DevOps, because you were
Yeah,
just saying Epic language and that's got me thinking DevOps, right? And then you were able to vote it. Yeah.
exactly. You know what? Yeah, this is exactly what we are doing. It's
That's
connected.
so
It's going
cool.
to be connected to DevOps, and it's going to be connected to multiple things. Even this report will be able to show the it will be able to show the bugs. So if you want to know things that didn't work, maybe you can go to this dashboard, go to, for example, the news slicer, and if you find a bug in your own report while using the news slicer, you can go to this report and see if somebody already filed that bug or if you can submit one. And if it's already there in the list, you can see if it has been resolved or still pending. So instead, and the reason of that is because for the core visuals, I'm getting hundreds of the same bugs, people saying, hey, do you know this? Do you know? Yes, I basically copy and paste the same answer. We know that we're already working on it or it's already fixed. So having this connected to our bug system as well can help us to inform users what has been already reported and what has been already fixed.
Gosh, I cannot tell you how much I would appreciate that because, and I'll admit, one of the biggest reasons that I like working on like Power BI or Microsoft platforms or large platforms is I know if I encounter an issue, odds are there are 10 billion people who have had it first, and I can mostly rely upon them to have already communicated to you, so I don't have to fill a ticket. Um, but that if it is nice that you're available though to like, hey, are you aware this is a preview feature? Like, I just encountered some preview features this AM that I'm not even sure anyone has access to. Emailed the PM, hey, there's an issue here, but that would be great to see. Yes, I'm not crazy. No, it's not intended to work like that.
Yeah,
Yes, they're going to fix it, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or worse, am I misusing it?
That's
Oh,
That's
yeah.
always
true.
my question. Am I missing the trick? Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Mr.
sometimes we
Pro,
think,
sorry.
okay, this is a bug. Did somebody already submit it?
right.
Like, how do I know if I don't do it? Means that nobody has done it.
Yep.
Sometimes we think that everybody's thinking the same way and nobody's submitting any bug. So yeah,
Yeah.
I want to make it super easy for you to know what's the status, for you to submit one of those bugs and get everything one place. As well, the documentation. Whatever we do for the Canvas team and the core visuals team with this new dashboard that I showed you, you will have access to, all right, I see the reference label for the new card. Now, where can I learn more about it? So it
Yes.
will give you access to blogs and documentation to go right from the dashboard to our official information about it. So then you can learn.
So cool.
Well, Arun Logis better watch out because clearly Miguel Myers is like coming for him. That's all I can say. Or he's got a retirement program baked in. 10 years from now, when Arun's like ready to retire, you could just tap on Miguel Myers to take over.
No, no. I think, and the whole reason is well, it's gonna make my life as PM easier because you have no idea. For me to collect all this information, I need to go to multiple places. Everybody's using multiple channels, and it's just time consuming. Having one single place where the community gets engaged, it will be a time it will save me so much time, and it will make me more productive as PM. So
Win-win.
it's a win-win for all of us.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, we're on board for that. You just let us know if
Yeah.
you, for some reason, want our help. You know, you're doing just fine, but we're down.
Yeah, for sure. I will let you know, guys.
we are happy to help when you need it. So, it's exciting news. We're very excited to hear that and the future there. I don't want to like step on this announcement because it's exciting, but I understand there's some advances in on object too. Is that the case?
Yeah, the things that are coming for an object, it will be supporting more data visualizations.
Okay.
And then we will continue enhancing some of the click deals, the things that are going to be exposed once you use an object. Basically, I'm just taking the whole vision that Rossi had and making sure that that's developed in the proper way.
Okay.
And then the plan is for us to get into public preview as official default on experience by September, October.
Wow.
So then everybody can get involved into it. But we want to, at least we want to do it in a way that it won't be so
Scary?
drastic for the classic experience that many of us are more inclined to use.
So that's the first time I've heard that we're targeting September or October of this year for default on objects. I have not touched on objects in a few months. I will freely admit, I tried hard at the first, got a little burned, pulled back, went in again, tried it again, had some issues, pulled back. So is it better, or am I going to have problems in September or October? What?
No, I think it's just going to support more options. It's not going to be better experience as a whole.
Okay.
Better experience to me is when the format ribbon that is coming as well as a public preview, and then the format pane that we need to reevaluate the whole design work as a unity. So when you click something in the option, the format pane will display things properly, expanded in the right place. I'll give an example. This is an example of my vision. I've been designing a report in the last 2 weeks, and you'll see that report soon because it's going to be popular.
Can we see it?
When I was trying to set up multiple settings per each series, I was going into apply settings too, which is people that don't are familiar with the format pane. If you have, for example, a line chart, and that line chart has 100 lines, and you want very specific lines to be set up in the colors, like if you want to change the color for those 10 out of the 50, you need to go into a drop down that says apply settings to, and then you need to choose one by one. And not only that, there is no search box there. You cannot go and say series 7 or series 20. You need to go into a scrolling experience in that little drop down, find the one you want, click on that, then go into the format pane and then modify stuff. With an object, that's going to change because you can select that particular series. Automatically in the format pane is already selected, and then you can make any modifications. But even take it further, you can set up multiple lines at the same time and expose those options in the format pane. So then you can make changes really quickly out of the fly. And maybe you won't even need to do some of those options in the format pane because the format ribbon will give you the ones that you need to do or that you need to access pretty quickly.
Nice.
So the integration between an object, format pane, and in the future format ribbon will be a dramatic change.
Format ribbon
I
sounds
think-
good. I like that idea.
Yeah, in the ribbon, you'll see the styles, you'll see multiple stuff that are very unique. One good cool example is the table. In the table, we have one option that is called styles. And then we have something that is called no style, minimal, and then condensed. There are multiple styles. In the format ribbon, we can have a dialog there with all the styles, and then you can see them like a preview before even you selecting them, and then you click on them, and that's the kind of style that you'll see. Very similar to PowerPoint. So that in that way, in the format pane, the style stuff, that drop down can be removed, and we can decrease and decrease the amount of settings in the format pane. In that way, the format pane won't feel that crowded. It won't feel so much overwhelming, which is right now it is. So by dividing these settings into these three streams, format pane, format ribbon, and format and an object, is the perfect combination to make an experience so much more appealing and easy to work with.
And it'll feel a little bit more like Excel and other like office tools where you have that formatting ribbon. Yeah, that's awesome.
One thing that I like to always think about it is other tools like design tools. So design tools or designing tools, they have so many options because that's what they meant for. But if you pay attention to the settings, they have less than Power BI because they know how to use an object and other dialogues that are part of the whole system to make the experience so much organized. That's why an object is critical. And that's why right now it feels like it doesn't fit. It feels quite painful, but the reason is because it's still in progress and it needs to get plugged into the other three areas. And the format ribbon is just coming. So one good example that I can give with this is when we were doing shapes, lines, and markers. For core visuals team, we did enhancements we are, because that work's still ongoing. But what we did is we first launched columns enhancements, and some of those columns enhancements, people were really upset and messages saying, hey, I think this is crazy. You need to do more important things than this silly stuff. But what they didn't know is that those components were part of the whole map of enhancements that we wanted to do for the whole management of Cartesians and any other visualizations. So by us skipping those areas that they didn't like, we were making problems in the future for the ones that they actually wanted. So now that we are launching the new in this February, which is overlapping, they are finally happy. But what they didn't know is we need to do the other ones that they didn't like in order to make these ones and continue. This is just the beginning. On object is the same. On object at the beginning, it really doesn't make sense how things are moving, or maybe it's painful. But the reason is because those are the components that we need as a foundation that right now it doesn't seem like fitting well, but they will once we plug them into the right system.
Yeah, I think there's a common phrase people toss around called trust the process, right? You know, it may not feel like it's working right now, but you got to just keep drinking that water. You got to keep getting up and taking your Dax for wait, he's sleeping, so I'm not going to say it, but you know.
Yeah. WALK.
That's it. Yes, that's the one. Yes. And
now, there is a lesson for us. There is a big lesson for us. And I think this is not just the canvas. This is not just the core visuals. I think overall. In our last meeting that I had with my community representatives, they said, hey, be careful with the public previews. Because public previews for our audience is not public preview. It's GA. It's semi-GA for them. They actually take training materials, they build their whole infrastructure for production, and they rely on those features. They think that they are completed. But the reality is, no. Public preview means under development. We're just giving, it's like a beta testing, more or less. We're giving you the chance to beta test something that is not ready. It's not ready entirely. and people are not understanding that part. They believe it's almost GA. So
I'm
and
going to say though, and maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure you see the tickets. I don't see the tickets. As I look back at all of the preview features I've ever used in Power BI, I was telling this in a training before. I can think of 3 times where it's like that wasn't ready and it caused me an issue. Right. I mean, any other change or preview feature that has small modification, the evolution or whatever got changed or evolved, it wasn't something that was like vital or gonna piss off a CEO. At least if a CEO had any frame of reference.
You didn't get burned
Right.
by
I never
using a
got
preview
burned on.
feature.
I mean, on object kind of burned me at first. I still call that one out. That whole Web 2 thing. I don't know what that was, but like we had a year of if you enabled that, Power BI was going to go down on you. And then there was another one that's now back so many years I've forgotten it, but I remember it from the dawn of time as like a golem-like creature in my memory. So I know he's there. I just don't remember what about. But only 3 times. I've never felt much of a threat from preview features. On your side, have you heard lots of people like actual emergencies or issues from preview features in
well,
visuals?
yes and no.
Yeah.
One of them is like the button slicer. So people were
Mm,
selecting something, going to another page, and then when they came back, like when they went back to the page where they selected something, everything was unselected. So it
mm,
was not preserving the selection. For the new car visual, we had many major problems as well of how we were rendering and aligning
Mm.
text. So sometimes they were breaking dramatically, and people weren't able to rescue that. Basically, was broken. It was breaking entirely the visual, and they need to redesign the new car from scratch. So, and things like that happen to everything else. Like when it's public preview, you will find bugs like that. Not
Okay.
critical, but at least something that is not a nice experience. In the way that people see public previews, like they should work perfectly. So what we're trying to do here is maybe we need to be super careful when things are going to be public preview. Maybe they need to be available only when it's almost GA. Like
mm,
once we're 100% sure that we want to make that feature GA, generally available, then we give a 6 months space to be public preview, just to get last feedbacks, fix some bugs, and then GA. In that case, if that's the case, then the new car visual shouldn't be available until we reach almost the last stage. And the last stage is like more months ahead. There is a down thing,
But
or there is a
but you could
disadvantage.
still mark that as a preview feature. You could turn it off and not use it, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, people still like um, thinking that it's almost finished. And that happens with an
mm,
object as well. So people were upset because they were thinking that this is a almost fully developed solution. And no, it was just a public preview thing that it was going in stages. And the sentiment was not well received by that evolution. So we need to be super clear as a product team. Let the community know the journey, the ups and downs once we are increasing and evolving those features. And more importantly, they need to be fully engaged into that process because sometimes they feel, well, and this is what I found, they feel disconnected. They feel like their voice are not being heard, or they are not even, or the team is not fully connected with their needs. So if we get that sorted out and we make sure that everything that is public preview is in a good state for them to try, then the sentiment will change.
It's
Okay.
hard, right? Because it's a two-way street, right? Like if we were okay with public preview things being preview, we would probably get more things to try out.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
I
it
don't
is
know.
tricky because
I
I.
still see it as an option that you can set. Um, I don't know. To me, that feels like you could still set that as an option. So therefore, it should be fine. But
Chris is like, give us all the preview features.
yeah,
And
if I
I
can
bravely
toggle
won't
it
yell.
on or off, it is my decision to turn it on. I want to be able to get to preview features and not have to like not be as concerned about it, I guess is what I'm saying. So,
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, we're still trying to understand what is the best middle
Yeah.
ground for that.
Yeah.
One idea we have is maybe we will allow you to use preview features like the canvas or core visuals items, but we won't let you to publish to web. So once you
I
publish
was
to
just
web, it
thinking
will
that.
be broken. So you
Yeah.
know that you can try them, but you cannot
Oh.
use them for production.
no, just give us an error message or a notification saying,
Or, yeah,
"Hey,
that's another
you're
idea.
using preview features. Is this intentional?"
Yeah,
I'll
we
take
want
that.
to,
I'll click
yes,
on it every single time.
yeah,
Or yes, and I'm going to accept this in all future publishings, right?
Hmm.
So allow
that's
me to
it.
accept it for the future deployments.
Yeah, another idea is like a watermark or message all the time in service once you publish.
Yeah.
So then your report consumers are aware that you're using a public preview feature. And
Yeah.
you might have to be reluctant if they want to see that you are using something that is not fully developed. In that way, we can minimize the friction that we have with the community on the changes that we are doing for an object or any other feature in a much better way.
Yeah, and Alan here is saying public preview could change and should change. Users should not expect found GA quality, but we need a good, easy way to give feedback.
That's correct.
That it, I that I'd like to like thumbs up that, and
Yeah.
like to the point where could we get a thumbs up, thumbs down that provides feedback into your dashboard so we could see how that's rating, and
Yes. Well,
potentially allow us as a report developer to see that thumbs up, thumbs down as well.
yeah, well, that's why the dashboard, right? In the dashboard, you'll see the public preview features that we are developing, and then you can give us feedback. I will try to talk to engineers if we can do some kind of plugin into the desktop. So once you give us feedback, it can go right into the same system and feed the dashboard that I shared before. So
That would
everything,
be so cool.
yeah. So yeah, remember the whole thing, the strategy here with the canvas and the core visuals now that I'm being the PM is more regarding communication. So
Mm.
I am not here to give you, I'm here to give you what you want, but before doing that, I need to make sure that the message, that the channel between these two areas are super clear. And that's what I'm here for.
Awesome. That is so cool.
It's
So
very exciting.
even a link, in that public or in the preview selection pane in that Power BI desktop to a place to give feedback on a preview feature would be awesome. You know what I mean? Like as like a small little, I say small little step. You're like, this takes months of work, but
Yeah.
something like that even would be awesome. But no, this is so cool. So you mentioned a report earlier, Miguel.
Mhm.
Is this a good time to go to that report and look at it?
No.
No.
No, no,
I'm just
that's
thinking. Sorry.
yeah, I can share it, but it will be public, and people will see it.
And I think we can be very forgiving. At my count, I believe Miguel let 4 things out of the bag on this call. So if you're listening, please don't fire Miguel. We really love Miguel. Or Microsoft. Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So
yeah, that's I bet that's going to be a big one. Does it have anything to do with what Mohammed was talking about 2 weeks ago on the Gartner report?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I used to be the one designing that one,
Okay.
the dashboard. The one last year I was not involved,
Okay.
but the previous one I was, and
Okay.
it was the one that we share regarding electricity. Um, I can share a screenshot. Let me see. Let
We'll
me
wait
share
till
the screen
yeah.
again.
Well, you're not sharing, so you just say when
No,
you want your screen
I am
to
not
share.
sharing right now, but I will in a moment.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so I hope you can see.
Yeah. Here we go. Yes.
Yeah, so this is the dashboard that I designed 2 years ago. And now this year, I'm going to be responsible of designing the new one for this year. But I need to do it in a way to display the new features, like the new button, the new card, the new data labels, and multiple more cool stuff there. So that's what I'm doing. And my plan is to use the same dashboard to educate our users how they can take advantage of the features we are doing or developing.
Nice.
This is fantastic, man. And I gotta say, I really love that you still actively use the product and you still actively turn out amazing things like this. Uh, and wait, how did you get the number to like highlight a singular color and have everything else be gray in that column chart on the bottom? What the heck?
This one?
Yeah,
This one?
yeah.
Oh, this is a simple chart and it has a DAX formula that keeps the columns always on, but I use conditional formatting. So depending where you're moving this slider is changing the color.
So cool.
Oh, hopefully that feature will just be a setting and not like crazy DEX function formula like logic out.
Yeah.
Chris is like, no
Yeah,
complicated
that's,
decks, please.
Yeah,
I have
I'm
I have
out.
an idea for that.
So
Oh,
cool.
oh, this is great, man. That's awesome. So excited to hear this. Excited that you're here there. Oh, and Alan Jones is want to know, when do we think we'll see the dashboard for Gartner? Is this like you're going to design it and it's going to be out in a week, a month, or a year?
No idea. I
Okay.
usually design it. They tell me what I need to
Okay.
design because we never know.
All right.
They give you something and then everybody has to figure that out. Um,
All right.
yeah, basically, like, if I show you the whole thing, you're gonna just hold your hands up. But after that time, I think they need to compete, they need to present it, and then after another time, then we can public that report so then you can download it and see all the craziness that I did behind the scenes.
All right, cool.
And you're right. I think I like what you said. It's nice that I'm being a PM for Core Visuals and now the report creation experience, and I'm still designing reports. I think that was something that I told Mo that if he wanted me to be in his team, he needed to still give me some projects like this because I didn't want to lose the muscle of being a report creator. I want to feel the pain. I want to continue being in touch with the community in the sense of doing what I do.
Yep.
So I'm grateful that he's still giving me chances and opportunities to use the tool in the way that everybody is using it, and not just being behind PM stuff.
Well, that is great. I'm going to show you the thing that I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you what I want to see in here. Hold on. I screwed it up zooming on something. Now I've made it not look right. But okay, hang on. I'm going to share my screen window here. All right. Come on. Get up there. All right. So I want to be able to use my entire palette. I don't like that I can only work inside this little cropped area here. I've got all of this space here. I've got all of this space here. And heck, I would like it if I could even dynamically scroll down and do stuff as you know, and like be able to expand a button and have it open up in a down space or those types of canvas type things. Those are some of the things I'd like to see on the roadmap now that you own this. And
So you want the
Chris has a
wallpaper
list.
to be useful.
what's that?
You want the wallpaper to be useful.
Well, I want the whole screen to be my canvas that I'm working on. I don't want a wallpaper. I don't want this background. This is the screen that I have to work with, not just this small sliver. I want the whole thing, and I want it to be there by default.
And are you using the option that shows you the page as wide as it is?
So,
We
Fit
call
to
it,
page.
there is, let me check because I always forget, but we have three options for that. So then when you open it in Surface,
yeah, but then it's all jacked up and wonky, because then it doesn't scale appropriate to like whatever system I'm in. Because you can go in and here I can change this. right? Edit. I don't even know what report that was now.
You need to give your feedback, Chris.
Right. I have to give better feedback, I suppose. Let's see if that even. Oh, that's not going to work anymore. A dead API. Here, this one will do it. Oh no, this one is set up for wide, but look, when it's wide, it now it's way overblown and big in size. So then I could scale it down so that it's more useful and more readable and
Detecting the whole way of
right.
the page.
Yeah, but like this is too big. This is the right size, but now I lose everything else, and I don't have dynamic scalability inside of it. So if I'm on a smaller screen, it doesn't look right.
So it's not just being able to utilize the whole size of the screen. You want the visuals to respond on that resolution and change their formatting settings so then they can scale up as a whole.
Correct.
In that way, I saw one thing 2 days ago in Pinterest when somebody was from one very narrow report, they were making it more wider, but all the visuals were like resizing in the text and everything was as well moving forward with that expansion. So that's what you want, like a responsive, fully responsive canvas.
Yes. My visuals and my canvas to be responsive and interact with each other and properly format as it scales. Like it should maintain all the ratios and it should have, right?
I see now what you're talking about.
So that's
I
that's
think
why I'm super happy that you now own both, so I can just go to you.
Chris has 99 theses he's ready to nail to your wall, just in case
Well,
you're
in order
wondering.
to do that, the first thing we need to do is we need to work on grid lines in the canvas. The canvas has grid lines already. Is that how we call them?
Yep.
For the ones that don't know, when you go in the format in Power BI Desktop and then you go into View, there is one in the View tab at the very top. There is one option called Grid Lines, and below another one that is called Snap to Grid. So those grid lines that we see there, they have to be redesigned because, as far as I know, those grid lines is nothing else than just an image. It's like an image that they put in the background with some lines. But what we need is to reinvent grid lines. For people that know UI UX, we usually use grid lines or columns to make responsive solutions. And this is pretty common when people are developing websites that have to scale in multiple resolutions and even to translate into mobile. So they use a column system based on grid lines. So we need to develop that solution first, so then people can easily create any layouts. And that's amazing because if we want to design layouts, like predefined layouts, those layouts need a system to define each of these components for the layout templates that you want to have for your organization. So gridline is the foundation. And once we have the gridline system, I can then move a little bit further to create that kind of responsive behavior. Now, it's a huge amount of work because if we do this, we need to support that responsiveness, which more or less we already support somehow, but not entirely, to every visualization. So the core visuals and the report experience team are going to do this. They have to basically work together to get the whole experience unified. Is it going to be expensive? Now, once I have the roadmap in place, the same way as I showed you with the canvas, with the core visuals team, we will know how much requests we have out of that idea, and maybe if there are some other things that people want to do before even that. But
100%. Chart this out like you do, right? So we could see all the things that are required, and like people should vote on it. I've got a link up for ideas at fabric.microsoft.com. Head over there, submit this, support these efforts. We love what you do by taking user feedback and driving towards that end goal. We want to see that journey of like, okay, I need A, B, and C if I'm ever going to get to D. So that's fabulous. But I think this is one that would be a very powerful capability because, as you said, when you design a web app or a UI UX, you have columns. You need those capabilities. Power BI is all about UI UX. We need all of the common UI UX capabilities that any other platform would have.
Yeah, the intent for everything we're doing for these two teams is to keep it simple for you.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't be worried about managing margins or spacing between cards, or the system should be have like it should have something in place already to do that for you. You only define how much space you want for each visual, horizontally and vertically, and how much space you want for margin, and the system should help you. You just drag, drop, or expand into a column, and automatically will stop exactly where it's supposed to stop. And my idea is for you to design reports as good as the ones that I can design with a very little less effort.
Yes. That would be awesome.
I
Well,
completely agree.
let's see how that goes.
Because we love your reports, Miguel, but we're not all Miguel.
No,
So
even for me, it takes me forever to finish this report. Like it's not good that if you want to make a good report, it's a lot of resources. Time is money. So
Mhm.
I am not 100%
Yeah.
sure many companies want to spend that amount of time developing nice looking reports, that they rely on the system that to help them.
Right.
Report creators are not designers. So
Yep.
the tool should bring that design muscle for them to design what they need. We need to allow them to use this an object and use the canvas and the format pane and all these things in a way that is super easy for them to achieve good practices, and like even IBCS standards in a way that is manageable for them.
You said something
Yeah.
there that got me thinking. Maybe we need to have two types of experiences. One for the standard dev and one for the pro dev. Right? So if you want to be a standard report writer, God bless, make it do everything. Make it as simple and easy, drag and drop, look really good, but still enable an experience for the pro dev side of it. I mean, if we think of like the tabular model side, I mean, Power BI's got a great
Yes.
modeling experience for a standard developer. But if you want to go pro dev, you got to get tabular editor. Well, maybe
Yeah.
that's where we need to start thinking on the visual side. What do we want for the standard developer to make it easy, to make it look good and attractive? But then how could we also enable the pro UI UX designer to interact and use it?
Yeah, so this is the way that I see it.
Mm-hmm.
So we have three personas.
Oh.
The new one, or
Yep.
the user that only designs something for like in a rush. They
Mhm.
don't have the time to make anything super crisp and
Yep.
clear. They just need the data and put it in a way that they can understand and use really quickly. Maybe for a certain period of time, and then they will forget about it. Then we have another group of the people that are they like report creation. They feel like they can do some more work, but they don't have the skill yet. They don't know what is good, what is bad, and they do not know where the options are for the things that they might have in their mind, or requests that they're getting from their departments. So they are kind of lost, but they know Power BI more or less to try their best. And then we have the advanced user, which they know Power BI better than their hand, and they take whatever time it requires, not only with the tools that we give out of the box, but they use other tools like DNF and many more stuff, more technical, to get the visuals that they need. So the way that I see it is, for the first bucket, what we need to do is we need to give them good defaults. So the visuals should look great out of the box. Like when they create a new car visual, nobody wants to see a 45, or I don't know what size that number is. It's super huge.
It's
Yeah,
45. You're
45, right?
correct.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
that's not good. And the sliders, they look like outdated. Like everything looks. When I create a report, I basically remove all that default and I design everything from scratch.
The first thing I do is import my template.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me show
Template
you
and
the
theme.
Let me show my screen. I'm going to show where my vision is for the first bucket. I'll talk about the
Okay.
second one and third one in a moment. So again, it takes forever for us to share screens, by the way.
Oh.
Let me try this window, and here it is. Okay, so let me go here, and this is what I see, right? Like you design a report, and this is what you get.
Hold on.
Those
You're not.
five.
You're not sharing.
Oh, I'm not. Sorry.
Yeah, you stop sharing, and then
Okay, let me try again.
no problem.
I'm telling you. Can you see now?
Hold on. Here we go. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oof.
Okay, so
This
somebody designs
this
a
is
report
not the
from scratch.
target, right?
Uh, somebody designs something from scratch, and this is what you get. The slicer looks like
Yep.
this. The KPI or the car visual with the 45 point font size, etc. The idea, and even the format pane has this kind of view, right? Like look and feel, like it's super, is that gray, that color doesn't really even help me if something is selected or not. The separation between the white and the gray is not that huge, and it seems separated. So what I did in my vision, based on what I show you in that whole roadmap and epic ideas, is for the users to design something from scratch, the same report, and they should look like this out of the box. You create a car visual, and they should have this font. The color, the size of the axis, everything should be aligned. So then, when you put
Yep.
a car visual with a line chart, and when you turn on the labels or the legend, everything should feel unified, clean, and simple for anyone to navigate or to interact with, even though taking the filter pane inside of the part, or making part of the canvas, so then people don't feel disconnected and so far away from the tool that they're using, and making the filter panel more personalized,
Informative.
customizable.
Yeah.
So, and again, giving the best default. This is the idea of giving you something without even effort to putting any design at all. So you design a small multiples, and this is how it's supposed to look. You design a gauge, and you can maybe only change if you want a circular or linear gauge, but it should look like this out of the box. If you create a star chart, then it should give you a bubble legend and a legend with certain, like everything needs to be by default. You don't need to go and turn things on. We're supposed to give you best practices from the moment when you drop in, when you drag and drop fields into the visualization, and that's the first bucket. That's where I think we should do first. Then for the middle bucket, we need to enhance the report experience, like what I told you, the on object format pane and format ribbon. So it's super easy for them to find what they need. If imagine they get that report that I showed you from scratch, but maybe they want to apply some styles or make the analysis a little bit further for storytelling. So they can use the an object to really find that option and then get it done really quickly, because they don't have the amount of time that an advanced user has. Now, for the
Right.
advanced user, the canvas thing goes again into the role, because if we do some kind of template stuff that I want to explore, we want advanced users to design really cool visuals, but then frame them in a way that look more or less like a custom visual, but using the core visuals. So then create packages, and they can deliver that to the intermediate and new user just to drag drop what they need, and automatically will look like the advanced designer did. So in that way, that skill can be scaled all the way to the new user, and people can create packages or UI UX iframes in Power BI that people can download, and then they can use predefined visualizations from other advanced users, and then they can just use the right fields that they need to achieve the same result as they did for many hours.
Oh my god.
Take my money.
Another of those ones. But to do that,
Yeah.
that vision requires an extensive amount of work. For example, the new defaults is something that I'm supposed to do since the day one when I joined the core visuals team. But the amount of work that we need to do together, just together, is huge.
Yeah.
So I'm
But
trying.
couldn't we just start with the proper default, like
Yeah.
font sizes, not 45 or 180 or whatever it is on the cards, something like that. I don't know. Just toss it on swag of a change like that.
Something like that. Yeah, we will start with the basics first, but
All right. We have a couple questions in chat
Mhm.
because we are nearing the end of our time and we're very appreciative and want to be respectful of your time. Jack Irby wants to know, when are you writing a book on design, or is this book already in flight and we should look for it from Packet Publishing any day now? Is that
Oh, no, no idea.
no idea?
I just want to tell you this. I want to continue my swimming classes because I still have no idea how to swim, and
Oh,
I need to find the time to do that. So I'll try to first do the basic stuff, and then I'll go into writing out.
learn to swim first. That's
Yeah.
that's fine.
Fair.
There's
So,
another
hopefully-
question from Alan. Alan wanted to know, when are you going to be able to dynamically set a slicer's default value based on some other item? He mentioned this setting maybe a year ago in various
Okay.
webinars, and we're
Yeah,
tired of
and I
waiting.
apologize. I apologize because back then we thought again. Remember that I was a newbie in this. I was so naive. Oh, I was so naive. Now I see things differently, and I wish you can see everything I see, but you can't. But what I can show you now that this is going to be public for you
Mhm.
is I hope I can share. I'm sharing now.
Okay, it's up.
Yep.
So for everyone, this is one of the major requests, by the way, and the team is not taking this slightly. Like we are going to do it, but I just want to show you why we stopped and how we're going to do it. For the default selection, which is right here, is that we call it D3M2. The D3M2 that allows you to force that selection to default it or to use all selection or non-selection. Sometimes people want, when nothing is selected, they don't want to see anything in the report and until you select. And the reason they want the non-selection is because performance. If you have everything selected at once, then it put a lot of pressure on the report. So what they are trying to do with non-selection is you can request the query only on the category or particular region that you need. So there is multiple things. The one that you're asking for the default selection follows into this whole bucket of stuff.
Okay.
Now, in order to do this kind of default selection, you go into multiple things, starting edit interactions. Edit interactions right now is messy. You have multiple visualization, and it's really hard to cancel, highlight, and filter visualizations. And there is no good communication between filter cards in the filter pane and slicers. The slicers can be managed by visuals, but the filters pane, they can only manage one visual at a time, the whole report at a time, or the whole page. And there is no way to manage them the same way. Like, for example, you cannot say, for this slicer, I want the slicer to only affect this filter cards and not the other ones. That's impossible.
I gotcha.
So we need that first. We need to get the system first. Then we need to allow that slicer to sync. And finally, once we have that option, we need to have some kind of hierarchy. So then when we support the auto select, imagine that we have auto select for region, country, and city. And the query, once it runs that auto selection, conflicts with each other. If it conflicts with each other, it will break entirely your report. You will corrupt it because the query has no idea what is the principle and the option that it needs to be selected first. If you're using conditional formatting to say, hey, always select the last 3 months of this year, but there is another slicer that says another formula that says always select the first week in the last 10 years. So now there is conflict between two filters trying to respond each other, and it won't go well. It will crash that report and it will be corrupted. This is one of multiple scenarios that people can basically destroy that feature. So the way to do that, we need to have some kind of hierarchy approach to let the principle of selection know who is the first one running the query. And if in this case, I imagine that my auto selection for region is Europe, and my auto selection for country is Argentina. So now I know that Europe's go first, and then Argentina, and then it will show blanks. But they won't be fighting against each other because now there is a super clear hierarchy in the new edit interaction management to understand that auto selection. So just to allow the auto selection, which is conditional formatting work, I have that into the conditional formatting experiences that we want to enhance. So it's in here.
Wow.
Sorry, it's in here. FX selections. So we want the FX to auto select for you. So conditional formatting will do the job. But in order for this one to work, as you can see here, it has dependency with that particular item. So it seems pretty easy for engineers to do this, but it's super hard for us to get into a system that won't create bugs and crashes all the time in your reports, which is these three major blocks. I hope that answers your question. Like things like this is requests that I'm getting all the time. Like people are asking me, can you do this really quickly? I can, but the problem is there are many.
It'll break other things and be just a cluster with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Now that I have the map, I can tell you how easy, how difficult that can be. Before I was like saying yes to everything, but now it's like I do. If I can work on the feature, I can get it out, but I know people will make more arguments and they will be unhappy, and we might lose their confidence that we are doing a good job. I need you to understand that we are hearing your voice and we are making sure that everything developed will function as expected. So that's why
I think people can really understand that we're asking you to build a bridge, and you're saying you've got to build up these support structures first, or the bridge will collapse. Completely get that. I think in the past, the challenge has been you couldn't see the support structures being built, so you had no idea if the bridge was coming or what was taking so long. I love what you're saying about what you're going to be doing with epics on the ideas site. That will really help, like, tie these things together and make this successful.
Yeah.
No.
And it lets us communicate with each other more effectively too, and be like, "Hey, no, did you see this thing?" Like, which can maybe help get people off your back a little bit too.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So
awesome.
That's the cool thing of having a whole map. It takes time. So that's what I'm saying to the team. I know you want things in an object and multiple things for the Canvas team. Just please be patient with me for a moment. I just need to get this order out, and then you'll hear a lot more than what you wanted about this area.
Yeah, and I think we can be patient. We understand it's a process, and I'd rather have something good than something now in almost every situation. So, Miguel, thank you very, very much for your time. As a last words, anything for the people who are watching, what would you ask of them, or what should they go out and try? How could they help you?
Well, please keep using the on-object experience. And I will set up a channel in LinkedIn first, and I will hope that we can get a hold together, and then you can give me all the feedback you can about that experience. And as well, please, beg you for the format pane. Give me any experience you have with that tool, ideas that you might have to improve the experience, and that's going to help me because I can start gathering information first in the first place and make my job easier. So just give me feedback on report creation experience as a whole, and I will appreciate that.
Awesome. Well, I think we could do that. And so, Miguel, thank you. Christina, thank you.
Awesome.
Yes. And especially a thank you for everyone who tuned in and joined part of this conversation. We could do this without you, but it's so much fun when we get to do it together. So.
Yeah.
Everybody have a great day. Peace. Baker Tilly Digital combines strategic industry insight and advanced technical expertise to uncover and solve your digital transformation challenges. If you're interested in learning more, check out our website at bakertilly.com/digital.